Tax strategies often go overlooked. For many, they're pushed aside for years. And when it comes to retirement, this can be a costly oversight with serious consequences. And joining us today is Mark Cordner. Mark is the president of Golden Years Financial, a local area firm that focuses on preparing people for retirement. Mark, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's great to be with you again.
Pleasure having you on. So why do you think tax strategies often get overlooked or delayed by so many people?
Oh, well, in my experience, people can find taxes intimidating. You know, it's not something we learned about in school or in college for the most part. And yet there's a lot of things we can do to control our future situation. We don't need to be intimidated. It's a matter of learning and just engaging or working with those who, of course, can help you.
Yeah, well, what are the most common tax questions that you hear from retirees right now?
Oh, by far, it boils down to the belief that I find most Americans have, and that is that tax rates are going to have to increase significantly because of the state of our national debt and these entitlement programs like Medicare and Social Security that are so grossly underfunded. And so people fully expect tax rates to increase and to do so significantly. And so the natural question is, what can I do now to reduce my taxes now? And more importantly, what can I do now to reduce my taxes in the future when I'm going to be far more dependent on my savings and unable to go back to work? And so what can we do now? And the good news is there's a lot we can do now. And the sooner we act, the easier and less expensive the solutions will be.
Yeah, talking about acting now, for those who are watching who may be nearing retirement, which tax strategies should be at the forefront?
Well, number one, we should be taking advantage of the benefits offered by individual retirement accounts and 401ks and 403b plans. And everyone's got one of those kind of options available to them. And so we should be putting away as much as we can for the future. And I'd say the second thing is we should be learning about IRA conversion options, because if we fully believe the tax rates are going to increase in the future, then we need to be doing what we can to get legally off the tax radar in the future. What I mean by that is there are IRA conversion strategies. Most Americans have spent the last 50 years accumulating money in tax-deferred accounts, basically accounts that have never been taxed before and that will be taxed in the future at whatever the future tax rates are going to be. So the conversion privilege allows us to pay the taxes now voluntarily in a historically low tax environment, get those taxes behind us, and basically liberate that money so it doesn't have to be taxed in the future, so that we can literally have tax-free income legally under government-approved programs. So the Roth IRA is something that people need to learn more about. And again, there's a lot that people can do with just a little education and some early effort.
I'm sure there's plenty of people watching who haven't addressed their tax situation yet. What's your advice for the first steps that they should be taking today?
Well, I'd say the first thing is to learn about your opportunities again, because most people are again, intimidated by taxes, and they shouldn't be. But there's a lot of resources out there. I mean, we teach a class at the College of Southern Nevada every 6 to 8 weeks. It's a 6-hour class for people that are serious about preparing for retirement. And there's programs like this out there. They're free to the public, and they give people the tools that they need to prepare so that they can get their beliefs and their actions in alignment. Because most people, again, believe tax rates are going to increase in the future, but they're not doing anything right now to avoid that future scenario. And there's a lot they can do now to kind of get off the train track, because there's a train wreck coming in the form of increased taxes in the future. And we don't have to get hit and destroyed by that. We can plan ahead and legally avoid those taxes with just a little effort and education. So educate yourself and take action.
If people are taking action and planning in the right way, what could potential savings look like over the course of a retirement?
Oh my goodness, I mean, we're talking big numbers here. I mean, it's tens of thousands, in some cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's been said that there's two sets of tax laws, or two sets of tax rules, one for the informed and one for the uninformed. And so I would say get informed, know what your privileges are. You don't have to pay more than is your share. We should all pay our legal fair share, but we don't have to give extra money to the government. And so let's educate ourselves and do what we can to get off that train track and avoid the train wreck that's coming in the future.
Yeah, everyone needs to prepare. Mark, thank you so much again, as ever, for your insight.
Great to be with you. Thanks again.
It's a pleasure. Now, if you are watching at home and if you want to make sure that your retirement plan factors in taxes, Mark has an offer for you. For the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater, he's offering a complimentary retirement plan just for you. This will allow Mark's team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap analyzing where you are right now and discuss your best steps to really get ready for retirement. The number to call, 702-766-3877. Again, that's 702-766-3877.